just the fact that there's a girl in the university that was never cut, that will never be cut, that will never cut her daughters, that will be educated, that will speak up for herself.
Yeah.
I think I was meant for this. I was actually born for this because I feel that I was a very different child. I also have just remembered or recalled that I was the first girl in my village to wear a trouser.
A trendsetter from a very long time. Hi everyone, my name is Valerie Loloju. I am one half of the S2S podcast.
And my name is Godano Yussuf. I am the second half of the S2S podcast.
And welcome to the Sister to Sister podcast. So much fun is about to be had on this podcast. How are you doing, babe?
I am doing well. How are you doing?
It's good to see you.
It's good to see you too. We are saying it's good to see you, yet we've been together, I think, the past week. But it's so amazing to onboard this podcast, the Sister to Sister podcast. It's deeply rooted on sisterhood, backed by grassroots women who want to speak about FGM, child marriage, and the advancement of what young women who are actually the backbone, right?
Yes.
Of what is this conversation about women, and we can't wait to hear you. We can't wait for you to hear us. We can't wait to have for you to hear the amazing guests we have lined up for season 1. And it's just going to be a very merry conversation. So get on board, guys. Get on board.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
You gotta stay tuned, please. So this marks the first episode of our S2S series, and I really love the choice of our first guest. I don't know about you. We are bringing in studio a very phenomenal woman leader, a household name, and everything in between. I don't want to go so deep into it. I think she definitely has a lot to say about herself. Welcome to the pod, Dom.
Welcome.
Domtila.
Just sitting back and listening to you guys introduce the podcast.
Such an inspiration. It's even so lovely to just share this couch with you and have your brain with us this episode.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. You don't know how glad I am that we are doing this together. We're doing it our own way. So my name is Domtila Chesang, and I'm from West Pokot County, but I currently live in Nairobi. I am women's rights advocate that has spent over 10 years in the front lines of her community, speaking up for girls and women. I am a trained high school teacher. I don't know whether everybody knows that. Now you know. But I am not practicing. I chose to set that aside for the bigger cause, which is to advocate for the rights of girls and women, with a special focus on eradicating FGM, child marriage, and other forms of gender-based violence. So yes, and I'm happy to be here.
Welcome.
Thank you so much.
I think Val will also agree that it's the closest you might feel, especially if you're in the FGM space, the closest you might feel to sitting next to royalty, to women who've been paving the way, and it's an amazing work, and we root so much of what we do from the women like you, women whose shoulders we actually really do stand on.
Yeah.
So thank you very much. We can't wait to hear.
Yeah. So often than not, when we hear about activists and advocates at the front line of FGM, we have this certain perception of who they are and what they believe in and what made them do the work that they do. Sometimes it's looked upon as all glamour, where we say, oh, you just need to start an NGO and get funding and start working with white people and the community and travel. and travel. Yeah. That's the glamour that we see. But we know that it's way more than that. And there's 1 million plus women across the globe who are doing similar work. And sometimes they might feel not seen as much as they would want to be. We don't get to see the behind the scenes, the making. I mean, it's been 10 years in the making. I know there's an activist who just started her work right now. I know there's an activist who is marking her 15th year anniversary. Sometimes she feels not seen as much. She feels she has not understood what it means to be in this space as much as possible. She has not patted herself on the back for the work that she has done. So I want us to break down that today. Let's really see what it looks like to be a frontline activist. And I hope you will allow us to get into your world.
Please, dive in.
Okay.
I am very ready for Tuesday, so let's do this.
So let us start from the beginning.
Yeah.
Who is the little girl behind all of this work? Before all this work started.
Before FGM
Yes.
and activism.
Yes.
Wow. So, like I said, I'm so excited that we are finally sharing a platform, like between sisters, talking about our work and our experiences, our journeys, and I'm just so privileged to be sharing mine today with the hope that it will inspire someone or it will impact something. So Domtila is my name, like I said, and before the Domtila the activist, there was a Domtila from West Pokot, a young girl, a second born of 6 siblings, and the first daughter of my mother. So before all this work and all that, I was just a little girl in my village. I grew up in a village and went to school, a village school, and it never occurred to me at any given point that I would find myself here. So the other day I was, not really the other day, actually the last few weeks, I have started to write my book.
Okay. Exclusive info, guys.
So I am in the process of documenting my life. Something I've really looked forward to, but I was really waiting for the right time to start narrating, with Domtila and how far she has come, how many barriers she has had to overcome to get to this point, but also to just like really share that very intimate part of my life, so that I'm able to release it, because I feel like I've been carrying so much, and this is part of that journey. So rest assured that this is going to be part of that book.
Yes.
So this bit is also going to have a section in my book. So anyway, I cannot say that I saw myself here today, but when I began to write my book the other day, I started to identify patterns that clearly show that I will become somebody. I'll become a voice one day, one time. Because I was going back to the time when I was just a young girl, and I was observing things. And I can remember specific instances where I called people out, or I raised a concern. And clearly, being born in a village, that wasn't expected.
Yes.
So, but now, when I go back, I can trace back this that I am today to that point, and say that I think I was meant for this. I was actually born for this, because I feel that I was a very different child. First of all, I just wanted to be a child. When I was young, I just wanted to be a child. I never wanted to be seen as a deputy mom, because that is the expectation of a firstborn daughter. Yeah, yes. You are a firstborn daughter. You are not.
No, I'm not.
Exactly. Are you? No, maybe not.
No. I don't have another sister, but
we need to know each other. Yes. Well, before this, so
technicality issues.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I like you. So anyway, I sort of wanted just to be a child, and I was very keen on identifying patterns of injustice happening in my family. I used to see how boys were being treated differently, and compared to us girls. And I'll give as an example.
Please do.
There was an instance where we used to go to the farm, and the girls like us who will wake up early in the morning. I have actually step siblings, or I'll call them half siblings, or half sisters and half brothers, because I come from a big family. So the girls will be asked or required to wake up early in the morning and then prepare breakfast, do all those house chores, like the morning stuff. And then we all go to the farm with the boys or my brothers that haven't done nothing since they woke up. They woke up, they took breakfast.
Yeah.
So for me to remember that, we were very young. And then later on, we'll come back from the farm. We will come back home, have lunch, but the boys will do what? After lunch, they'll go back and just roam around the village.
Yeah.
And what happens to us, the girls, start there preparing for dinner and stuff, cleaning the dishes and stuff. So those things stuck with me. I was very disturbed.
Yeah.
But of course, I didn't know what to call it. I didn't even know what to say or like what to think of it. I didn't know whether it was right, but I still felt like something wasn't right. So those instances, right now that I'm here, I can say that I think I knew that something needed to be corrected. Yeah, and at the same time, I also have just remembered or recalled that I was the first girl in my village to wear a trouser.
A trendsetter from a very long time ago.
There are things that are going to come out of my book that I'm surprised, but I realize now how I started this journey, way back. But that aside, I was also a very thoughtful, observant, and I was very bright in school. So, and the other thing that I will say that I'm starting to acknowledge right now is that I never fitted in the category of a wife material.
What is this material? I beg?
Exactly. The definition of how people are perceiving it.
Yeah.
Because that's very mark that is very important for this story.
Okay.
I never fitted in. I was a very small child. Actually, don't be deceived by this dress.
Yes. Do not be, guys.
She's tired.
So I was a very small child. I wasn't like a strong child. I was just child wanted to play.
Yeah.
But girls in my village, there was this expectation that as a girl you have to show your skills. When you go to the forest to look for firewood, you have to try to carry the heaviest load. I tried. I failed.
Yeah.
I tried many times, guys. I gave my best. We will go to the river, try to fetch water. But, the girls, some of my friends, from the village, they will have like a 20 liter.
20 liter.
And then they'll just swing it around and throw it on their back. I try, I'll always fall down. And these girls were almost my age mates. So, long story short, I think that's the time I realized that was not my thing. That's why I said I was not fit for bike material.
Yes.
So that saved me because that then made me to discover where my strengths were, which was school. So I was very good in school. So, and I focused on that.
Yeah.
And sadly, most of my friends and age mates, my peers, the girls, they were married. They were married. Yeah. So I was the only one.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, just tell us a little bit about your friends. So your friends went through the cut. Is it because they majorly showed interest in wanting to get married, or is it that they didn't do so well in school, so the alternative was to be married off?
So actually, FGM is just one of the things.
Yes.
It's a process. It's not like something that you have to even consider or you have to discuss. No, it's like a pathway.
Yeah.
So, and that's why I was saying it's very important that you note down I was not a wife material.
Yes.
Because that is one path.
Yeah.
And the other path, the other alternative was education.
Yes.
So this was the path. You have to walk through this path. And most of my friends, because they fitted in that system. So it was a smooth transition for them. They had to go through the process, no questions. Yeah. And then they were, of course, when they came of age, they were cut. And then, of course, what do you expect? After you're cut, you're married.
Yes.
So, and me, on the other hand, I was not fit for that system or for that structure. So I had to chart a different way, which is now I had to stay in school, But that didn't just happen overnight. It also happened through a lot of preparations, because we used to see other girls being cut, and we used to celebrate them. Personally, I used to look forward. I actually looked forward to the day I'll be cut.
Yeah.
There was a time I actually was looking forward to the day I'll be cut. Because I've said this story over and over again. As a young girl then, because FGM wasn't criminalized then, it was still a normal, practice. So as a young girl, we were never shown the actual process, the whole process of the cutting.
Yeah.
What they only showed us in my community was just the excitement, the celebration, the attention that the initiates were given, but nobody informed us or exposed us to the cut itself.
Yeah.
So we were all like looking forward to the time we will get to that age that we will also experience that, but I got a very rare opportunity when I was almost maybe just like 1 year before my time. I got a very rare opportunity to witness the cutting, which I wasn't actually allowed to. It wasn't supposed to be that way. But just being a young girl and you want to see what happens like beyond this stage. So, and apparently in summary, in my community, there's the FGM is done in 2 stages. There's a first stage. It doesn't happen now. There was a first stage and there's a second stage. So the first stage was like a public sort of like event, and everybody's there, both men and women, young girls and older women. But there's a second stage, which is the stage where I was not allowed to see, but I saw. So I sneaked into that second stage with another cousin of mine, same age. We sneaked to the second stage, which is like in a hidden place, and then I saw it all, and that saved me. So besides the fact that I was not fit for this path, I still also got a very rare, opportunity to see that it's not the excitement, it's not the celebration, it's more than that. So I saw my cousin lying down there in a pool of blood, and other girls were waiting online, and women were like covering her mouth, her screams, and I did not want to. I made up my mind. Like from that moment, that was like a transition for me, because I said, wait a minute. Like, this is it? Because we had seen this bit, but now there was this bit that nobody knew about it. Only women who have been cut are the ones who are allowed to partake in that. Because I think they knew it very well that it will scare young girls. So that cancelled it for me. All the aspirations of wanting to be cut one day and all that, I was like, this is not for me. I went all the way home. I spoke with my mom that evening. I feel like I used to ask so many questions. I need to have this conversation with my mom at some point. So I asked my mom, like, wait a minute, because I was disturbed. I was really, really, really now scared. And then, because I'm like, why is nobody talking about it? Because like I said before, I noticed things. I noticed patterns, and I knew that something was wrong about this. Something was wrong about that. I was that kind of a child that would never sit back and watch things happen. So I asked my mom, like, wait, if I try to be smart around it, because I asked her, if I have to be cut like this way, if I have to be cut, I think I would really like to be cut in a hospital.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Maybe just you might have mentioned it, but just to ask you, what age were you at this point?
I think I was either 12.
Okay.
Yeah, 12. Either 12, 11, 13.
You really must have been a bright kid to ask if you might go to the hospital.
Because I had learned that I had heard from other people that there were women who had been taken to the hospital, for the CS. So, and somebody must have mentioned, village staff conversations, that when you are in the hospital, your stomach is cut open, but you are given something. You don't feel the pain. So for me, it was about the pain. It was about the pain. So I was like, I'd rather have mine in a hospital, because I thought this has to be the only way, because there were no options then. So my mom nodded, and she just said, okay. That okay was not okay. That like, okay was not okay. You are my mom, I know you. That okay was not okay. And I knew, nope, I'm not convinced. So, because then also at that time, and let me pat myself, because I realized at that time, even the boys were already starting to be cut in a hospital. There was no hospital FGM for the girls. So the boys, even my elder brother and even my other brother, they were cut in a hospital. Like by a medical health personnel. So then I was asking myself lots of questions. How come the boys have the alternative
to get hospital?
Because I knew they will not feel the pain. So what is wrong? Why can't the girls also have that? So anyway, so my mother was like, okay, But thankfully, my mother was not for FGM.
Yeah.
But she never also spoke out against FGM.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because she's just a woman in the village. She's been born in this culture.
Yeah.
But she's a survivor.
Mm-hmm.
And she doesn't support FGM, but she doesn't have the voice, or she didn't have the voice to name it, you know.
Yes.
So she didn't pressure me.
Mm-hmm.
But long story short, I was able to not be convinced by that, okay? And I derived a way of running away from home. I went to a boarding school, Ortum Girls Boarding Primary School, where I met other girls from other communities. Because I was just looking for validation that whatever I was feeling was right.
That you're not crazy.
I
And
was not crazy. I was not
disobedient.
And I
all
found
of that.
other girls, because I had never left my village before then.
Yeah.
I never knew, to be very honest. And this is what I always feel even for the girls back in the villages, when I go to the villages, that I had never knew that there was another world. Of course, things are different now because of
Social
social
media.
media
Social
stuff.
media, yeah.
But I never knew there was another world outside my world. I never knew there were other communities, you know. I just thought it was us. So that opportunity now exposed me to a number of things, and because I was very sharp and I was very bright, so I was able to connect dots. You are from this community, okay, the other people from out of this community, okay, well and good, then that's all I needed.
Yeah.
Okay. Which is very interesting, yeah, because at such a tender age, you've seen patterns, you've seen like clues towards something that is not really sitting okay with you, but you cannot self-express. As you've mentioned, even your mom at her age could not really express that she's against FGM, because again, we are in an African society, right? Which leads me to ask, what was your first anger towards, okay, this issue is not sitting well with me? Because I believe that we always have bits and pieces of things that spread around, right? That make you reach a boiling point, and you're like, yeah, cut the cameras, cut the show. Yeah. Now you're really angry. What was that moment for you that made you really angry, and you're like, my voice has to be heard somewhere?
So if I follow that back, I'll say the very first instant where I was triggered was when I saw my cousin being cut and lying in a pool of blood, and all these people holding her down felt that it was okay.
Yes.
That was the first sign. Because I don't understand how a human being can be pinned down, and people are like, cutting flesh of her body, and everybody thinks it's okay. I still feel the same way today when I read that people are committing crimes, and none of those people, 3-5 people, actually saw that was wrong.
Yeah.
So that was the first instant. The second time now is when I realized that, okay, well, I have been able to escape. I am in a boarding school, but I have to go home over the holiday. I still felt like something is not right, and someone has to say something. But nobody was saying something. And then there was a time where I felt, now that I'm remembering, or I'm talking about it, it angers me, but I'm not angry at the people that were saying that. When we were taking a bath in the river, which is very common in the village.
Yes.
My mother and another woman who happens to be a relative were having a conversation. That was the time when there was like small bits and bits of conversations here and there about FGM. Nobody knew how to call it. Nobody knew whether it was to be abandoned or not. So these women were talking about FGM. These women, meaning my mom and my other relative, and they were just thinking about. And then they said, I think it was my mom or the other woman who said, okay, if that part of the body has to be cut, okay, how about they just remove the clitoris, and they do away with they leave the labia.
Yeah.
They didn't call it the labia, I know what I mean. And they leave alone the labia. The other woman said, but how will it look like?
Yeah.
How will it look like if they remove the clitoris and then they leave the other part? It will just be like, like a pathway. I don't know what to
Yes, I can picture it. I can picture that.
But she described it would be like straight. So where is the rest of the meat and stuff? You know? So that like really got me. got into me because I was asking myself, what is wrong with it? What is wrong with this part of the body?
Yeah.
Why? Because these women were actually struggling to find a term for it. Was negotiating.
Yeah.
Because somebody has said it has to go, and now they're trying to negotiate. Then me, on the other hand, a young girl, I'm like, why does it have to go?
Yes.
And especially at that point, you already have some form of trauma from seeing even your cousin being in that position. You're like, why can't they just leave it?
Yeah, and I think what's also really coming out strongly is when we start recognizing FGM as a form of violence, then it really moves the conversation forward.
Even from culture.
Yes, away from culture. And actually, some of the things that you're describing is violence against women. Pinning them down, a group of people not seeing themselves doing anything wrong, young girls who cannot consent, who do not have willpower. That is a form of violence. And violence also really thrives in silence and in stigma and in being covered up. So that's why we see the parties, and you just told the fallacy of what it actually looks like. And unfortunately, that's still the fallacy that is being sold up to now. And that's why we are still in this fight against female genital mutilation. And I would want to say that you started your activism even when you didn't know that it was activism. And I know that you proceeded to, do you remember starting these conversations now past high school, when you got now into university? Because I would really like to see how activism looked like when you were younger and how activism looks like for you right now.
Yeah, so I also kind of want to acknowledge that I feel like the path was also laid for me in a way. Some things are never by accident.
Yeah.
You're born and you're just like you're born and then you are positioned. Yeah. In a way. So I cannot say that there was a specific time when I started. I just feel like it was an ongoing thing. Yeah. It just happened. It just happened, evolved from point A to point B, because part of what I will say is that even when I used to go home over the holiday, I still had that fire or the urge to make people see that what I chose was the right thing. Yeah. I didn't have the words or the campaign, but I still wanted people to see that what I chose was the right thing. And sadly, my sister was cut. My younger sister, the one who follows me, was cut when I was away in school, and that's when I realized my mother was not for FGM. Yeah. And that also gave me now more, support, knowing that my mom was against FGM, because she called the women out, those who did it, and she almost refused to welcome my sister back home, and she had to be begged. Those women had to beg her to let my sister come back home after she had FGM. So that gave me more power to talk about this, and then I started to have conversations that I didn't know they were actually geared towards FGM, but I had conversation with people from the church, young people or the youth. So we used to have our own youth groups during the holidays. And being in a high school, that means you have a a higher platform to talk to other girls who are in primary school. So that gave me a position too. At least I had something to say, because before you become an activist or you become a speaker, you must have some level of knowledge. You have some elevation, that happens. So that's what gave me a position in high school. And then when I was transitioning from high school to the university, a group of women, because things were also happening behind the scenes. There was conversation around FGM as well, and then there were groups like World Vision who happened to come to our village then. And then I went to some of their camps or their seminars, their workshops, where they were now confirming to me that yes, you're right. You know? So that already gave me the permission or
and
the
go
backing,
ahead.
And thankfully also I never really felt bad when I never felt bad as somebody who refused to go FGM when my sister was cut, my younger sister was cut, which was supposed to be I was supposed to feel bad, because
left out
because a young girl has gone through it, because FGM is about, quote unquote, you're brave, you're courageous. So I think for me, I made peace.
Yeah.
That I am not. I am none
You are
of those
okay
things.
not
Yeah.
Which is fine, guys. I am none of those things, and you can do nothing to me. So
Yeah.
the campaign just evolved like that, and then the women were also already forming, like organizations, organizing themselves, talk about these issues. And it also happened that some of those women happened to be my relatives, my half sisters, who were already organizing themselves to talk about FGM, to actually even not even talk about it, but to talk about it, to have dialogues like, what is FGM? What happened to us? So because of the fact that they were my relatives and some of them are my friends, so by default I found myself sitting with them.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why I'm saying, for me, I also feel like the path was sort of almost like laid for me. It was just for me too. There was another woman that spoke
Yes,
about
that
it.
spoke up. Yeah.
So then I found myself in the group, the discussions with these women, and then I was learning, but at the same time I was then in the university. So, and this is the time I discovered my passion. In one of the workshops that we had in Otum Girls, it was being hosted at Otum Girls Boarding Primary School, which was my primary school.
Yes.
So I was being tasked with, the women were the one organizing the workshop, they were the one with the trainings. So I was almost like a head girl, because there were girls who had been mobilized from different villages. So but because I was at the university, most of them were already in primary school or in high school or were not in school. So I was given a role. I became quote unquote like the head girl.
Yes.
But that's when, and then I used to love to stay with the girls. I would stay in the dormitories with them. When the other members would go and find somewhere else nice to sleep, I'll sleep in the dormitory, because it was my dormitory. you know. So, and then we bonded with the girls. And that's when I realized that I had something and people could sit and listen. And I was able to connect with the girls. That's when I saw that there was I had a calling, but there was more that I needed to do than just sitting there and attending the workshops. So I already saw myself as somebody who can speak and people can listen, and I could feel the connection that there was something that was being achieved through that. So that's when I was like, okay, I can do this.
Finding a purpose for your voice, like your voice finding that purpose without you really pushing it or anything. And I understand from what you've said that in your early days, a lot of the community, the young girls, just the inspiration is what really pushed you. Will you say that that's correct? Like what was fueling you in your early days of activism?
I will just say what was fueling me is that I had a confirmation that FGM was wrong. So what was fueling my activism or my urge to speak out was the fact that I had that strong conviction that FGM was wrong. The patterns were there. They were there. The evidence was all over. World Vision were there. You know, there was a lot of convo about it. But then also I had gotten the exposure. I had been interacting with other women and girls from other communities. So I had seen light out of my village. So what really drove me was the fact that, guys, this is not the way. I have traveled. I have been out there, and this is wrong. So that kept me going.
And I think it's very important to always go back to why the work started. And it's amazing, as you were starting the conversation, you're saying, now that I'm reflecting when I'm writing my book is when I'm realizing all these patterns. So basically what we are saying is it just didn't come out of nowhere. And also just you applauding the women who came before you, who validated the feelings that you had, the very strong feelings against female genital mutilation. And I know that's where a lot of activism is rooted. And now we've come to the understanding of where Domtila comes from, where her activism came from. You've done primary school, high school. You said that you are a trained teacher. I'm assuming that you did train, you did teach after campus for some time.
Not even TP?
The only time I went to class was during my teaching practice.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so was it a bit crazy for your parents when you said that that's not the way that I'm going?
I didn't say. I transitioned into what I was already volunteering to do when I was in school. So it was like a seamless transition. There wasn't like a break. because when I was in the university, I was already having conversations.
Yeah.
And now with the time, because I only gave you like a bit of it, but with the time, those women were already organizing, they were conducting workshops, we were moving from village to village. Actually, part of my earlier role was to look after the babies for these women.
Yeah.
So, but now, eventually, because I was the only one who had a university education, most of the women were not, were semi-illiterate or illiterate. So I saw, there was almost like an obvious role for me to do, take minutes, write some of the reports. So by the time I'm leaving university, I am already...
You already have a role.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and I knew what I wanted to do. I knew that there was something waiting for me. So over the holiday, I would be doing that. I'll be traveling, I'll be moving from one village to the other with the women, and then I'll be holding those workshops. I'll be invited to workshops sometimes myself by people like World Vision. So I was being prepared even when I was in the university.
Yeah.
So there wasn't like a place or a time where I had to pause and, no, it was just like...
Have you ever, at any point during especially the beginning of Domtila and as the activist, did you ever regret it? Like, I should have just stuck with teaching and gotten my TSC number.
No.
No? Yeah.
I will not call it that. And not even at my early stages of activism. I have had moments where I questioned myself. I questioned my choices.
Yeah.
But not in a way that was qualifies to be regret. No.
Yeah.
No, it's just my decisions, how things were happening, the frustrations. But I have never at one given point ever
thought I should not have gone this way.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's very important, because there's a lot of people who are now battling between, say for example, quote unquote, real careers, right? And because sometimes we call activism making noise, right? And that's what a lot of the people around you might see, especially at the very beginning when you're young, and people say that you need a real career. So that's very important, especially for a lot of other young women who are having these feelings that what is being done in the community is wrong, and they really want to speak up, but they're not really sure how their future looks like in activism. They're not sure whether there's going to be regret that is going to come. So I think it's very important that you did not lie and say that has been a perfect journey and a very smooth journey, but just highlighting that I've had moments, but I've never really sat down and thought, why did I ever pick this? And I think this really transitions us properly into a deeper segment in terms of what does the work really mean to the individual, the activist, the frontline activists specifically. Yeah. I don't know, Godano, do you want to take that?
Yes. No, but the whole time you were speaking, I was just thinking in my head, is Val calling me out? Because
did you ever regret?
No, not really regret. I was also thinking, because I am in a education background wise. I'm in such a different education background. I did quantity surveying, which is in the construction industry, compared vis-a-vis to what we currently do. So I think I have never really sat down and regretted it. Also, just what you've also said, there is always those minutes of, is the burden, and I'm very sorry for using the word burden, but the work that we do sometimes is really emotionally draining, and I'm like, would I have just had an easier life in the construction industry where I'm just saying, baba yes miti
but on the wrong side.
Or like harakisha tunataka kumaliza hii floor leo.
Yeah,
you get it.
True.
But I believe that the fulfillment that I've gotten from this industry, just the same as what you've said, has supersedes the emotional turmoil sometimes. So I would really want to also just hear from you.
What has that burden looked like for the past 10 years?
It's not there's no first time, there's
especially
no second
to the person.
time.
Yeah.
It's been a process.
Yeah.
So I can't even call it burden. It's part of the process. It's just been part of the process. Like, how has the process been? those moments that I disputed to use the word regret.
Yeah.
So first of all, I really want to acknowledge that this work is not easy.
Yes.
It's not for the faint-hearted.
Oh, yes.
It is an uphill task.
It's not roses.
It is not for. It's not for everyone. Yeah, I will just declare it that way. It's not for everyone, because I have had, I have had those moments that I almost lost myself. At the peak of those moments was the time when I almost lost myself. Although I had lost myself in the process, but there was a time when I felt like I was breaking, and I was losing it. But thankfully, that top point or top level happened at a time also when I had done this work for some time. So I had already also built some network of people. But what I can say is that this work also there's no style. There's no style. There's no roadmap.
There is no curriculum.
There's no curriculum. There's just no structure. It's especially when you work at the community level, because you have put yourself out there. I felt so exposed because of this work. I have no privacy, even as we speak now, because of this work. I lost all my my benefits, my privacy benefits. I lost that, and then I placed myself out there as a solution. That was the mistake.
Tell us more about the mistake.
That was the mistake.
Can we learn
portraying
from it?
yourself as an answer or as a solution to a people. Because when you come to a community and you talk about that the effects of FGM, and you say, I am not cut, I am here, I'm educated, this is the right path. So people will be like, okay, we want to take that path. How do we do it? So when people are figuring out how to do it, and there are so many challenges in the process of trying to transition from that culture to this other alternative. So then it's your role, it's in your place now to figure that out with them. So there are those who are running away from pressure. There are those who are escaping child marriage. There are those who really want to be in school, but they don't have the money to remain in school. So that becomes your extra responsibility. So for me, I feel like what overwhelmed me the most was the expectation, the needs of the community, because they just saw you. Because as an activist, you're not supposed to show your weakness. That's the most challenging bit. Okay. You're supposed to be, because you say this is wrong, that means you know this is right.
Yes.
And because this is right, then it's your outfit. So you have to defend it. So by defending, that means you need to have answers.
Yeah.
If people come to you, So that was the most challenging bit. And then at the same time, being a grassroots organization, and you are not trained to become an activist.
Yes.
Yeah.
You are not trained to become a manager. You're not trained to become a CEO. You assume the role of a CEO or a manager, a founder, finance oversight,
monitoring
M&D.
and evaluation,
everything. Everything. Just like
you're the
you
engine of this project.
You have those skills. So you keep the work going. So that's when I feel like I was juggling so much. And at the same time, you have to show that you're working.
Yes.
You have to convince people that you are working in this. There's impact, which is true. There was impact. There is impact, but at the same time, at what cost?
Yes.
So I had invested my life, myself. I put my life out there, and it's like I told the people that come to me.
Yeah.
The way Jesus called
Yes.
called people. You come to me,
Come
right?
to me.
But Jesus had the answers. I didn't have. Jesus had his father, the resources. Did I have the resources? So at some point, I feel like my life was like my life was like that of an MCA. With no CDF.
I understand.
Or whatever money. So people will come to me. People will call me at any time. By the way, if you ever work with the community, if the people that are very indisciplined, people that need to be trained, it is
No
the community.
boundaries.
They know no boundaries. I don't blame them.
Yeah.
But we can do better.
Yeah.
Because they'll call you at the middle of the night. And they will come to you. I'm having a conversation with you the way we are sitting here. If that guy over there was a community person, he will just walk in and start having a convo with me, completely ignoring that you guys exist. That is what happens. Like there's no respect for even your private space.
Yeah.
So they will come to the office. People come to the office. I have this problem. If they don't come to your office, they don't find you in your office, they call you on your phone. If they don't call you on your phone, they'll message you. If they don't message you, they come to your house.
Yeah.
Other times I'll wake up and then someone's waiting for me in my living room.
Yeah.
Sunday. There was a time where a woman even looked for me, went to the village elder. Is it village elder? Mkasa. Mkasa.
I don't know.
Village elder, you were born in town. So
I don't know why I'm getting shots.
Mkasa.
Crazy.
Are you serious?
Are you sure that's not a West Pokot word?
Mkasa. By the way, what is Mkasa? Is it like Swahili?
I don't
Like
know.
a-
I don't know.
See, it's just not me.
Okay, now, okay,
Is it
Mkasa.
like
That's
the
Swahili name?
Nyumbakumi elders?
Nyumbakumi is a recent thing, by the
Okay,
way.
okay.
Mkasa is a village. elder.
Showing
We are
my
fast.
age,
I will
showing my
I will
age.
check it out whether, but don't start to call me millennial because.
Millennials.
By the way, the other day I was thinking about this. I was like, Gen Z, millennial need to stand up for our terms. Because Gen Z are trying to make us look like, oh, your terms were outdated. No, they were. These are our slang words.
I'm sorry, guys. But they called abadi.com.
Yes.
I mean, what do you mean?
Yes.
Can you have? We should have another episode with you because what do you mean?
And millennials are shying away. We should not shrink. We should use Mkasa the way I'm
Do you
using.
think you're being overpowered by Gen Z also?
I love the influence.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot of positive.
But I
Yeah.
agree with you. I think millennials should
We
stand
need to
up
defend-
more for
we need to
themselves.
defend
Yes.
for our
Yes,
dot coms.
please.
So what did the Mukasa do?
This I'm living in town, like at the urban part of West Pokot. I'm living in a 2-bedroom house. I have converted my house into a rescue center without converting it directly, but it just happened.
Yeah.
There are so many girls living in my house. Girls who need to go to school, girls who are just finding somewhere safe, girls who just want to be near Domtila. And then, so this woman comes looking for me. It's almost the beginning of the year. Girls are supposed to report back to Form 1. She doesn't know where I live, but she has had me because I used to do my campaign. I still do my campaigns on radio. I'm very vocal, by the way.
Very much.
Very vocal, and I'm
You
very
should really
influential.
go follow
You should
her.
know people.
Yeah. You should follow her on her
Yes,
Facebook.
yes, I make a lot of meaningful noise.
Yeah.
So people know me even before they see me,
Yeah.
even up to date. People know me before they see me. So this woman was like, I'm looking for this lady. I want her to help me. I've been told, I have heard that she's helping people.
Yeah.
So she's coming to your house, yeah?
So she's on a Sunday morning. So I am in my bedroom trying to get some sleep. Then she went to I didn't even know where this Mkasa lived because it's a village elder. I didn't even know that those, like the way it is achieved in town.
Yeah, I don't know.
To achieve. So anyway, that's what happened. So, but what I'm trying to say is that the pressure is so much when you live in the village where you work. When this village is your home, is
Yeah.
your people.
Yeah.
You cannot separate
Yeah.
yourself and your job.
Yeah.
You are part and parcel of that issue.
Yeah.
It's not like where you have a JD that you have to stick to.
Yeah.
No, your JD is to serve the people.
Yeah.
Whether it's from the finance department, from the HR, from education, mentorship, and all that. So that's what actually almost killed me because there was so much, and then I did not have enough support. I was also fundraising as the only fundraiser.
Yeah.
So fundraising and trying to write those proposals, you don't even know how to write them.
Yeah.
There was no proper support or proper system for support
At
for
that
women like
point.
myself.
Yeah. And I think it's for context, when we speak about frontline activists and grassroots activists, it means these are people who actually live in the villages, right?
Yes.
So this experience that you're bringing forth, right, like all the physical, emotional, and financial burden that you are speaking about is very similar to that of very many other women who decided to stand up for themselves. And I think one other thing is the need to just prove to the community sometimes that I didn't go the wrong way.
Yeah.
I'm doing something, guys. I'm not, and we know that change does not look the way it looks on books, right? On this other side, you're truly as human beings, we have this feeling where we want to belong, right? So we shouldn't never blame anyone when they want to belong. So what you've done is you've stood up in the crowd and you've said,
I can do it.
I can do it.
And you have to prove.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm going against what you guys believe. And it can be a very lonely path.
And even the wildest part is, as you've mentioned, there is no JD for this job, right?
Yeah.
So there is no, for example, if you work a regular 8 to 5, you have you at work and you at home.
Mm-hmm.
And you can have very different characteristics.
Yeah.
But as a person who's at the front line for this work, there is no you at work and you at home.
Yeah.
You're ever at work.
Mm-hmm.
Your life, your
like
personal
this.
life is scrutinized by the community if you do any misstep. There is no autonomy for you to have privacy.
Mm-hmm.
There is no privacy, right?
Yeah.
And it must be really challenging and hard. And I can believe that a lot of the grassroots, the grassroots level founders, young women who just stand up because of discussions. We're even seeing on social media women who stand up against FGM, rape, GBV. There is always their lives are now subjected to scrutiny,
Yes.
subjected to ridicule on a public platform, and you've just spoken about what's wrong.
Yes.
And people do not want to understand that that's
You're not
wrong, and
supposed to be visible.
you need to convince a mature person that what they're doing is wrong. Whereas at the back of their head, they also know it's wrong, but they want you to convince them why it's wrong.
Yeah.
You're given that burden of now convincing other people. And Domtila, the conversation, we will go on and on and on if we start discussing the challenges that you went through and how those look like. But I would just want to know, on those hard days, on the days that someone is in your house at 7 a.m., on the days that you're not able to feed
Mukasa.
Mukasa,
Yeah.
and on the days that you have 30 girls in your house and you can't feed all of them, I can believe that's such a challenge. What kept you going, and how does that heavy work feel, and how do you just continue putting fuel and telling yourself, lazima iwork?
Yeah.
Lazima iwork.
I think just remembering the purpose and why you started actually kept me going.
Mm-hmm.
Despite all that you have mentioned, the heaviness in the work, but there was also a part of me that was receiving the fulfillment, which I think for me, I held on to that.
Yeah.
The satisfaction that came with it. For me, just coming from my office in the evening, for example, and walking into my house, some girls are watching the TV, other girls are in the kitchen, they're laughing, they're cooking, and then I will walk slowly into my bedroom, and then just like close the door. A part of me is like thankful and grateful that I am a safe place, and my house is a safe refuge. But a part of me was also feeling lost, and overwhelmed, and feeling like, okay, what about me? Look, like, okay, what is going to happen tomorrow? But so there was like not a conflict, but there were like two
coexisting feelings.
Yes.
Yeah, but I chose to hold on to the positive.
Hold on.
Yeah.
And often than not, when we think about feelings and realities, is we might always argue that only one reality can exist at a time, but the truth is we should be able to hold two thoughts at the same time, even if they are conflicting, where on one side you're holding the thought that I'm getting fulfillment from providing a safe space for the community, for that one girl that I rescued last week, for that one donor who said that they will reach out next week to see if they can fund or rather give a scholarship to this girl, whilst on the other hand still feeling the burnout, the exhaustion, the loneliness of the path that you are walking through. And I know one thing about the community is, one thing that we do is we really hold activists to a higher ground.
The standard is crazy.
The standard is so high, because what do you mean you're tired? What do you mean you're burnt out? This work that you're doing, this
what
good
do you mean
work.
you're sick?
This is your job.
Yes, this
What
is
do you mean
your
you're
job.
sick?
Yes, how are you
How are
sick?
you sick and not going to rescue a girl, and we are calling you
Yes.
500 kilometers from where you live?
Even as we have this conversation, as you were asking me a question, I could feel some triggers. Because it's not like I am fully, over some of these things.
Yeah.
So I still feel some moments that I was really, badly affected. Of course, I won't go into all the details, but those moments where nobody pauses to ask you if you're okay.
Yes.
Nobody cares whether you're okay or not.
Yeah.
It is not their business to know whether you're okay. Nobody asked you to be an activist.
Yes.
In the first place.
Yeah.
You volunteered.
You volunteered.
You literally did. Even left teaching. Came to do activism.
Yeah. So you have to be present for all of us.
Yeah.
So that was one moment that I think I'll look back and I'm like, I think this happens a lot even today. Even families, like, people expect you to be there for other people, but nobody really takes a moment to think about you as the person.
Yes. Like, I think when you come in, and as you said earlier when you were speaking about when you present yourself as a solution, all we see is a means to an end.
Not a person.
Yes, and I know even right now, I know someone would say something like, did you see Domtila travel to this place? She's definitely spending money that is supposed to come to the community. But at the end of the day, what we always say, and we keep reiterating, is you cannot pour from an empty cup. If you do it, you're going to run dry. And
the cup,
to whose benefit? To whose benefit is that?
That statement alone, it never made sense.
Yeah,
it's not like I was not told that, and today I want to call that out. Sometimes we use some statements or some terminologies, or some phrases. But I wish we could say those things and actually explain it to the activists and guide them and support them to how do they fill their cups. When you give me a phrase, when you tell me something that, please don't pour from you're not supposed to pour from an empty cup. Then what?
How am I filling this cup?
So you have to show me how to refill the cup. So those things were said to me. All of those things were said to me. Domtila, you have to take care of yourself. I was reminded 100 times, you really have to take care of yourself. How?
With no tools, no resources to do it.
You have to distance yourself. You have to, create a boundary between you and your job. How? When you live in the community. When you speak the language, when these are your sisters, these are people that are known to you. So
I think that's one of the things that we are really trying to do with this podcast, to provide a tool for fellow frontline activists, women advocates, to see how they can better navigate this road from individuals who have gone through it before. And I think it's going to be a really amazing guide.
Being a grassroots or a frontline activist is sustainable. It's sustainability
on
itself.
Yes.
That is because you are based there.
Yes.
With or without funding, I was doing this work.
People,
I will still host people in my house, and I will feed them using my resources. That was sustainability. There was no funding. There were so many times where we didn't have funding. There was like a gap here in months where there was no funding.